Judges 19-21 recounts a disturbing incident involving the Levite and his concubine. The Levite and his concubine travel to Gibeah, where they are offered shelter by an old man. A Levite who lived in a remote area in the hill country of Ephraim took a concubine from Bethlehem in Judah. But she was unfaithful to him. She left him and went back to her parents' home in Bethlehem, Judah. After she had been there 4 months, her husband went to her to persuade her to return. He had with him his servant and 2 donkeys. She took him into her parents' home, and when her father saw him, he gladly welcomed him. His father-in-law, the woman's father, prevailed on him to stay, so he remained with him 3 days, eating and drinking, and sleeping there. On the 4th day they got up early and he prepared to leave, but the woman's father said to his son-in-law, "Refresh yourself with something to eat, then you can go." So the 2 of them sat down to eat and drink together. Afterward the woman's father said, "Please stay tonight and enjoy yourself." And when the man got up to go, his father-in-law persuaded him, so he stayed there that night. On the morning of the 5th day, when he rose to go, the woman's father said, "Refresh yourself. Wait till afternoon." So the 2 of them ate together. Then when the man, with his concubine and his servant, got up to leave, his father-in-law, the woman's father, said, "Now look, it's almost evening. Spend the night here, the day is nearly over. Stay and enjoy yourself. Early tomorrow morning you can get up and be on your way home." But, unwilling to stay another night, the man left and went toward Jebus, that is, Jerusalem, with his 2 saddled donkeys and his concubine. When they were near Jebus and the day was almost gone, the servant said to his master, "Come, let's stop at this city of the Jebusites and spend the night." His master replied, "No. We won't go into any city whose people are not Israelites. We will go on to Gibeah." He added, "Come, let's try to reach Gibeah or Ramah and spend the night in one of those places." So they went on, and the sun set as they neared Gibeah in Benjamin. There they stopped to spend the night. They went and sat in the city square, but no one took them in for the night. That evening an old man from the hill country of Ephraim, who was living in Gibeah, the inhabitants of the place were Benjamites, came in from his work in the fields. When he looked and saw the traveler in the city square, the old man asked, "Where are you going? Where did you come from?" He answered, "We are on our way from Bethlehem in Judah to a remote area in the hill country of Ephraim where I live. I have been to Bethlehem in Judah and now I am going to the house of the Lord. No one has taken me in for the night. We have both straw and fodder for our donkeys and bread and wine for ourselves your servants, me, the woman and the young man with us. We don't need anything." "You are welcome at my house," the old man said. "Let me supply whatever you need. Only don't spend the night in the square." So he took him into his house and fed his donkeys. After they had washed their feet, they had something to eat and drink. While they were enjoying themselves, some of the wicked men of the city surrounded the house. Pounding on the door, they shouted to the old man who owned the house, "Bring out the man who came to your house so we can have sex with him." The owner of the house went outside and said to them, "No, my friends, don't be so vile. Since this man is my guest, don't do this outrageous thing. Look, here is my virgin daughter, and his concubine. I will bring them out to you now, and you can use them and do to them whatever you wish. But as for this man, don't do such an outrageous thing." But the men would not listen to him. So the man took his concubine and sent her outside to them, and they raped her and abused her throughout the night, and at dawn they let her go. At daybreak the woman went back to the house where her master was staying, fell down at the door and lay there until daylight. When her master got up in the morning and opened the door of the house and stepped out to continue on his way, there lay his concubine, fallen in the doorway of the house, with her hands on the threshold. He said to her, "Get up, let's go." But there was no answer. Then the man put her on his donkey and set out for home. When he reached home, he took a knife and cut up his concubine, limb by limb, into 12 parts and sent them into all the areas of Israel. Everyone who saw it was saying to one another, "Such a thing has never been seen or done, not since the day the Israelites came up out of Egypt." It is unthinkably, the husband sacrifices his wife to protect himself, Judges 19 verse 24. The men of the city rape her until morning, Judges 19 verse 25. She dies from the trauma. The Levite carves his wife's body into 12 pieces and ships her to the elders of the 12 tribes to incite war against Gibeah. Outraged, 11 of Israel's tribes muster 400,000 troops and march on the city. But the tribe of Benjamin chooses to defend Gibeah's immorality. For the first time since the book of Joshua, Israel seems united in its desire to destroy the immorality in the land of Canaan. Ironically though, Israel must destroy one of her own clans to do so. The enemy of God is no longer outside, but within Israel. In a series of 3 battles both sides take heavy losses. The body count proves God's judgment isn't just against Benjamin, but against all of Israel's men. 600 men from Benjamin escape, but no women or children are left alive. The conquering tribes then secure Benjamin's eradication and make a law that no father can give their daughters in marriage to Benjamin. But the men of Israel realize this is short-sighted. Israel can't be without all 12 tribes. Their solution is a loophole. Technically no one will give their virgin daughters to Benjamin, instead they will take them by force. Israel resorts to the same behavior that started the war, exploiting and raping 600 women so the men can save face. Judges records the slaughter of the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead because they were not angered by the Benjaminites and did not go to battle against them. The account is important because 400 virgins from that tribe were found, spared and then taken to Shiloh. It is important to notice that God did not give them direction to slaughter the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead or to take the virgins to Shiloh. Judges 21 verses 1 to 7, 13 to 18 tells us that the Israelites began to feel sorry of the remaining 600 men from the tribe of Benjamin. Therefore, a plan was created to allow the Benjamite men to abduct one wife from among the virgin daughters of Shiloh of their choosing at the feast of the Lord in Shiloh. So when the virgins came out and danced, the men of Benjamin were allowed to catch his wife from among the daughters of Shiloh. The historical account of the Levite and his concubine in Judges 19 to 21 is a horrible event and should be appalling to anyone who has a sense of righteousness. The primary message of Judges is that God will not allow sin to go unpunished. As Exodus established, Israel was God's people, he was their king. They had forsaken the covenant established at Mount Sinai. Judges 19 to 21 demonstrates that God is opposed to the abuse of women in this account. He commanded the destruction of an entire tribe. Women should be protected no matter where she comes from, rich or poor. God says that no sin will ever go unpunished. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.